Hi guys, I'm Steve Gallia. Thanks for clicking on the video. This one today, as you can read by the title, it's the essential items in the kitchen, but all the different utensils that you're going to need as well. In front of me you can see just the other bits and pieces there. This is what I think would be a starting sort of point. So if you like the video, please hit like. If you like the series that I'm putting up, hit subscribe, and you'll obviously be updated with all the other different videos that I put through as well. And I know you guys will be watching, so that'll be great. So to start with, I thought I'll talk about the knives first. Knives are definitely, one of the most important things that you can spend your money on in the kitchen. So make sure that you do spend as much as you can afford to get a good quality knife. Now, as you can see, I've got an actual block set here. So this comes with your standard vegetable and paring knife, your carving knife, your bread with the serrated edge, and your cook's knife. Now, if you can't afford to get an entire set, my recommendation, probably shouldn't have pulled these all out at the same time, my recommendation would be these three here. So your bread / carving knife, your standard cook's knife, 20cm one, and then your vegetable knife as well. So that is a bare minimum. If you want to spend a little bit more and get a better quality, that would be the three that I'd recommend to start with. Now when you're buying your knives, it is personal preference. That's why there's so many different varieties. I prefer a heavier knife, it's just the way I like it, but I've got friends that like the lighter sort of versions as well. Just pick it up, get it in your hand, and make sure that it's something that you feel comfortable with. It's basically an extension of your hand when you're cooking. Make sure that the middle goes from the top all the way to the toe of the blade. As you can see there, runs all the way down, and make sure it's nice and weighted evenly as well. Definitely something that is quite valuable there also. Now if you like your meat, get yourself a meat / boning knife, whatever you want to call it. They're usually a little bit flexible, and they've got a nice little curve there. They only cost you about $20–30. This one's Victorinox and is fantastic. Always use that. Now with your knives, best top tip that I can give you is make sure that they are always sharp before you cook. So every time before you're going to use your knives, sharpen them. So what I've found is there's obviously lots of different ways that you can sharpen it. What I found is one of these little sharpening type tools. When you're putting your knife in here, it's perfectly angled, so you're not going to have to worry about am I sharpening it on the right angle or anything at all. You've got your two steps, so your coarse and then your fine. Sharpen it every single time beforehand, and your knife's always going to be perfectly sharp to cook. If you cook with blunt knives, you're just going to hurt yourself at the end. So always cook with a sharp knife, and when you're cooking, just go nice and slow, and then you'll obviously get your rhythm and everything up, and you'll be fine. Now going to your utensils, there's lots of different bits and pieces. So your wooden spoons, they come in all different sort of shapes and sizes and everything. Try and get yourself a couple of each, or not of each, but just a couple to start off with. Then you've got your tongs. Get yourself a good quality pair of tongs. These you're going to use a lot more than you may think. So make sure that once again they feel good in your hand, nice grips and everything on there so you don't burn yourself also. Then you've got your whisk, once again good quality, and then your different plastic bits and pieces. You can obviously get the metal or you can get plastic, it's really up to you. But you've got your ladles for things like soups and pancakes, things like that. You've got your spaghetti type scoop to pull your spaghetti and things out. And then your spoons, so you've got your slotted and your non, and then your fry pan type scoop as well. Fantastic little tool also. And potato masher. Make sure that you get a good quality, firm, good metal, because you are going to be putting a lot of pressure on there as well. Then you're going into your sets here of your spatulas, so small, medium and large. They usually come in a set also. Get some of these, great for making scrambled eggs and pulling all the different bits and pieces, making sure you get all the last little remnants and everything out of what you're cooking out of your pans also. Then you've got your different measuring sort of cups and your teaspoons. So anywhere from a cup to a quarter of a cup and half a teaspoon, quarter of a teaspoon, etc. Pestle and mortar. Now these come, as you can see, one's in the stone sort of variety, but you can get the wooden variety also. Fantastic for crushing up all your different sort of spices, and you put your herbs and a bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, and really breaking it up and releasing all those aromas and smells and different bits and pieces there as well. You're going to make absolutely fantastic marinades with that as well. Get yourself some of these. If you pop down to the markets, this one only cost me 20 bucks. So they're fantastic. Now the sifter, if you are on a little bit of budget, you don't obviously have to sort of get both. You can kind of just go with this. But it definitely does make things a lot easier for you having an actual proper sifter, because it's going to ground out all the different sort of sediment and everything, because you've got a few different blades there as well. Now your scales, kitchen scales, get a digital variety, not the old analog one, because it will take you down to the exact gram. You can make sure that everything is measured perfectly, and they're not overly expensive either. Cooking boards, or cutting boards rather, not cooking boards. Now I've got a few different sort of varieties. So the smaller one, my bigger wooden one, and then as you can see the plastic variety there also. Now the plastic one I use for all the chicken, things like that, chicken, fish, whereas the meat ones, more so for, the wooden ones rather, more so for vegetables and things like that. You don't want to mix all your different bits and pieces. So make sure that you've got one for chicken, fish, steak and vegetables. You don't want to contaminate everything altogether. If you look after them, they'll definitely last a lifetime there as well. Now moving along, your thermometer, great for putting into your meat and making sure that it's all cooked as to how you like. Excuse me. Your rolling pin, you can get a few different sort of varieties. Just once again go with what it is that you prefer. Your graters, once again when it comes down to personal preference, it's really up to you. This is the one I prefer because I can simply just put it on top of a bowl and just grate away. You do obviously have the four sort of sided ones as well. Personal preference when it comes to all of this really, but definitely get yourself a grater. Then you've got your garlic crusher. You can put your ginger in there as well. It just makes life so much easier. You can chuck it in, done in about 20 seconds flat. Now your peeler, this is my absolute favourite peeler. If you can get this sort of variety, definitely get one. They only cost you a couple of dollars usually. Excuse me, and they're great for obviously, you know, peeling potatoes and parsnips and such, but great for salads as well. Things like carrots and zucchini and that, you can slice them so much better than using a knife. You know, perfect thickness, and you can chuck them into you know, your pastas or your salads or things like that as well. And you look like you're a Japanese sort of chef as well, but that's a secret, so don't tell anybody. Now, grab one of those, couple of dollars. So sieve, as I sort of picked up before, get yourself, if you can, a variety of these. If not, get yourself sort of a medium-sized one. Your strainer, so with pasta, potatoes, all the bits and pieces is there. You just put it in the sink. It makes life so much easier just to strain all your bits and pieces there. And then lastly, your bowls. Now bowls come in obviously lots of different sizes and finishes and everything there. Once again, just to start, get small, medium and large. You'll use them for so many different things, putting marinades in your chicken and things like that as well, and the list is pretty much endless. So that's about it. That's an entire sort of, just an essential sort of starting point as to where you want to go just to start off. You don't have to get every bit and piece just to start with, but build your way up, and as you go along you get better in the kitchen. You'll find, you know, you're going to get more bits and pieces in there anyway. So if you like the video, hit like straight down the bottom. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, but thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye.